everyone, welcome to our sixth podcast. Today we are with Vicky and Dolores.
Hi, hello.
And our topic is being a volunteer during the COVID-19 pandemic. Vicky, can you introduce yourself to us?
Sure. So my name is Victoria. I'm from Poland. I'm 25 years old. And this is actually my second time volunteering in Syncasts. I loved it so much last time that I decided to come back.
Dolores, you?
Hi, my name is Dolores. I am 21 years old and I'm from Germany, and I am a long-term volunteer here in Croatia.
I'm also a volunteer in Syncasts and I'm from Turkey. And also Bengisu is from Turkey and we will be the host of this podcast. I think we can go to the questions. So first question goes to Vicky.
Oh yeah.
What was your parents' reaction when you told them that you wanted to be a volunteer during the pandemic?
Actually, I didn't tell them.
Amazing.
I mean, I think I'm independent enough to decide if I wanted to take part in a volunteering project or not. And since I really wanted to do it, I basically told them a few days before I arrived to Croatia, oh guys, listen, I'm going to Croatia.
Okay.
Well, they didn't have much to say about that.
Dolores, you?
My parents, they weren't that much of a fan of me going away for a year, but when I told them that I am looking for projects in Croatia, they were like, at least it's Croatia, because my parents are from Croatia. So they were like a little bit restricted towards that, but like they came around and now they're happy for me too.
Also, Dolores is not from Syncasts, so if you want, you can tell about us from your organization as well.
So I'm a volunteer at Udruga Amazonas, which is an organization that has projects and programs with the goal of educating and empowering and improving the quality of life of youth, children and families through social programs and sports programs. And we're trying to include people who are at risk and do not have that many opportunities, so we try to be as inclusive as possible. And yeah, it is a very great organization, and through them I've met Syncasts, and here we are.
Thank you.
And Dolores, were you nervous before coming to Zagreb?
To Zagreb? Not really. I mean, because of Corona, of course, there's like the pandemic and everything, but like you had also the restrictions in Germany and everything. So I was more excited than nervous to come here.
What about you, Vicky?
Yes, the same. Actually, I didn't even think about the pandemic when I was coming to Croatia, so it was mostly the excitement. I really wanted to change the environment I was in, because I study in the UK, so the restrictions over there are quite strict, and it just felt like the escape to come to Zagreb, so no stress at all.
Yeah, it was the same for me as well, because Turkey is in a lockdown, there are so many cases, so here is more flexible.
Definitely.
Also the same question. What's the difference between your country and Zagreb when we compare the pandemic conditions?
So I won't really speak much about Poland since I'm not there and it's difficult to say. But comparing Croatia to England, I think there's a big difference, because in England the restrictions are still quite strict. Well, they're being released with time, so from April it's a little bit better. People are allowed to meet outside, go to restaurants. I think right now the places are open inside as well, so you could go to the restaurant and actually have a proper meal, which was not really allowed since November. So that was quite a long time. But even though I feel like in Croatia the environment, especially in Zagreb, is still more relaxed, even though the restrictions are right now a bit stricter. The environment is more chill, so it just feels good to be outside. There are a lot of people, and I think like there's this summer vibe,
Yeah.
which definitely makes it a bit better. And the weather, it's
Oh.
much warmer than in England.
Dolores, you?
Well, for Germany, Germany is very strict with the measures. Like we have the lockdowns, the curfews, and like everything is closed. But they're also starting to lessen now the measures. But like coming here to Croatia was like kind of like paradise because everything is like
Yeah.
open. You can go outside. You can meet with your friends. And like coming here was just like such a shock for me from Germany because you know in Germany like everyone is like very strict like with looking with who they want to meet and how many and everything. And here in Croatia it was just like let's go somewhere. And I was just like, you are allowed to do that. But yeah, so I mean in Croatia it's really amazing and I love to be here.
Vicky, can you manage your classes and other stuff to do in your home country while you are being a volunteer here?
Yes, definitely. So before I arrived to Zagreb, when I was having an interview with Synchro, the conversation, I stated, like I told them that I still have a couple of exams to take. And this is actually not a problem at all. Our schedules are actually managed in the way so there is time for us to study, to take our exams, and then to actually take part in the project, so to prepare our workshops, to have them, to organize Syncouts, and to actually have a social life. So I feel like I have much more time here, even though I'm doing more. It feels, I don't know, a little bit much more productive, I would say, than in England. So yeah, there's time for everything.
Yeah, so now is the time for the real questions. This question is for you, Dolores.
Okay.
Would you rather never being stuck in a traffic again or never being cold again?
Oh,
Quickly.
never being cold.
Yes.
Definitely. I can deal with traffic, but if I'm
Yeah.
cold, I'm cold. I don't like it.
And Vicky, would you rather to live the next 10 years of your life in Croatia or your motherland?
Oh wow!
Quickly.
Croatia. No, that was easy. Yes, Croatia. I can stay.
And what about you, Dolores?
I would say
Croatia or Germany?
I would say Germany. Actually, I would say Germany because I'm going here every year for vacation, so you know, I still have the best of both.
Okay, let's turn back to our questions. So it's hard to be a volunteer during the pandemic, but are there any advantages for this situation? What do you think, Vicky?
Well, I think that there are a lot of advantages of being a volunteer during the COVID pandemic. Well, first of all, I think that people, because when you come to do the project, of course, you're gonna meet a lot of people doing the same project with you. So this is one of the biggest advantages. And you could still take from it as much as you would without the pandemic, because the activities actually, they don't change. We still do what we would do without the pandemic. It's just the format. So for example, our workshops are not being presented in the school with the kids, but we are still doing them online. So I don't think there is a big change if it's about, you know, participating.
Yeah, but what about your social life in here?
Social life. Well, I'm not complaining. It's actually pretty active. I think due to living in accommodation, we live in the hostel where still there are people who travel, different Erasmus students who come to live there. And I really don't see it being different. Of course, you have to wear a mask when you are in the hostel, and there are some measures that you need to follow. But otherwise, there is still a space for us to meet up in the hostel or even outside and do something fun. There are parks. Croatia has a lot of, Zagreb especially, a lot of
So
parks
many.
and places outside where you could still hang out. Right now, all of the restaurants are open outside, so you can grab a table and actually go out with people. So I think that if you really want to have a social life, you will have it.
And also, it's about the conditions of Zagreb.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
were in
Yes.
a different country, I think it won't be like that. Dolores, what do you think? Like you are,
Yes.
you're a long-term volunteer. You know Zagreb better than us.
That's I mean in Zagreb, like for me when I like wanted to meet friends, we were just like going outside and like taking walks throughout Zagreb because at one point the cafes and everything were still not open. But in terms of social life, like there are a lot of things you can just do, like even outside, like especially in the summer.
Yeah.
Was it hard to deal with visa, transportation, getting COVID tests or something before coming here, Dolores?
I mean, for me, since I have the Croatian nationality, it was very easy for me to enter the country. And with the corona test, like, I mean, I'm not sure if I even needed a corona test at that time because it was September last year. But like getting tests here in Zagreb is actually very easy. Like you just go to the hospital. I mean, I think right now you do need to make an appointment before that, but you just pay and you get your test and then you have it like in a day or two, which is better than in other countries where you wait like 4 or 5 days for your results. So I think like it was like very easy to come here.
What about you, Vicky?
Yes, the same. It was actually very quick because I realized a couple of days, I would say it was like 10 days before coming to Croatia that I would come. So I had to organize myself very well, book the test, buy the tickets. I don't need visa to enter Croatia either, so that was not a problem. But I think the most challenging thing was to close up my life in England because I was leaving the country. So it was a lot of organization in regards to sending my stuff back to Poland, deciding on what to do, quitting the job, organizing my university. So it was a lot of that. But I really wanted to come, so it wasn't that difficult.
Yeah, but we are doing a lot of things to come here, also you said, but what's the best experience for you as a volunteer in here?
Best experience.
Okay, Dolores.
Go on.
That is a very hard question. I think in general it's for me like doing what I do in my organization because I'm doing a lot of things I'm passionate about. Like I'm doing an online campaign right now, so I really just love working here. And of course all the people like you meet here and the memories you make. Like I cannot just pick like one event that happened because it's like every week you meet up with your friends and every week it's like making new memories and it's really amazing. Like I really am so glad to be here and to have met the people I have already met here.
Yes, I would say the same. It's not really about what we are doing, what I am doing. It's about who am I doing it with, and being a part of such a wonderful and international group of people that this project gathers. This is what makes it wonderful. Because before coming here, I think I could not even expect to be able to meet people so different from each other, but at the same time so special, that actually make this 2 months so wonderful. And it happened when I was here for the first time, and it's happening right now as well. So being exposed to this interculturality, it's the best part of this project, I think.
Definitely.
And Vicky,
Yes.
during the pandemic, how have the accommodation conditions been?
Well, so as I mentioned before, there are some rules that needs to be followed. So we need to wear face masks in the hostel, and well, I would say keep the distance, but otherwise it didn't really change that much. Yeah, so I don't know. I would say I feel safe living in the hostel.
What about you, Dolores?
Well, I live in a flat with the 3 other volunteers at Amazonas, so for us, nothing really changed except that we were like trying to be more cautious of like social distancing and like the amount of people we see on a regular basis. But for us, like nothing really changed in terms of accommodation.
So let's go back to the real questions again.
Yay.
Yeah, this question is for you, Vicky.
Okay.
Yeah, but answer quickly, okay?
Quickly, okay, yeah.
Don't take. Would you rather wear a wedding dress or a bathing suit every day?
Oh my god! I would say a wedding dress.
Okay.
Okay.
So you, Dolores.
Oh, I think I would go for a bathing suit because there are different bathing suits that you can wear.
True. There are different wedding dresses
Yes.
as well.
Oh, that's true too. No, I think I would go for a bathing suit.
Okay.
And would you rather having a flying carpet or a car that can drive underwater?
Oh, flying carpet. Flying carpet, definitely.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, this got easier. So, as the restrictions got lifted in the EU, do you feel safe to continue your volunteering projects after like massive flux where it starts between the countries, especially like Croatia, because here is a like summertime country. So what do you think? Are you feel unsecured or are you okay with this?
Not at all. I feel excited actually.
Okay.
For the life. Well, yeah, for the life or people coming back to Croatia because yeah, I miss it. I miss the times where people had a lot of fun and they felt comfortable. So I'm actually super excited about this to come. And Croatia is a place that gathers a lot of people, and the coast of Croatia is one of probably most beautiful coasts I've been to. And yes, I'm happy to stay here and to continue my volunteering here.
What about you, Dolores?
Well, I am very excited. Like, I feel safe doing the projects because, like, we have been doing them now for a longer period of time, like online. Like, I think Synchro as well.
Yes.
So, like, now we're also starting to have them in person again, all our workshops and classes. So, like, I'm very excited for the future because also right now, Amazonas has like a 2-week event at Park Trešnjevka. I think you were at in the cultural afternoon on Friday. And so we are all very excited to like continue doing this and like to be more in person again with the people.
If you have some questions to our volunteers, you can ask them with Facebook Live.
Please do.
Yes.
Okay. Also, one question for you, Dolores, as well. Like, you have been here since September.
Yes.
And the conditions about the pandemic is change a lot. So, what changed in your volunteering experience since September?
Oh, I think the biggest thing is like going from person to online and then to in person again, as I explained before. And I think like the measures like changed throughout the past 8 months it is now. Like a lot, like there were times where everything was open and then everything was closed again. Then after a while you also had the restrictions of the people you were allowed to see. I think it was 10 in total. So like there were like a lot of ups and downs, like always like, okay, are we going stricter? Are we going like more free? So it's been eventful to say the least.
Now we can just ask a lot of would you rather questions.
Aye.
We have time. So, Dolores, would you rather be fantastic at riding horses or driving dirt bikes?
Oh my god. Okay, fast. Dirt bikes.
Wow,
I think I'm not sure. Like I've never tried riding a horse. I'm a little bit afraid of that, to be honest. So dirt bikes.
Okay.
And what about you, Vicky?
I think I would actually go for horses.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. I tried it. Well, not for the first time, but for the first time since I remember when I was doing the project last time, and I really enjoyed it. So I would say yes, being fantastic at riding horses.
And would you rather get younger while gaining weight, or get older while losing weight?
Oh, well, depends.
Quickly.
It's a quick question.
Getting older while losing weight.
Oh,
Was that an option?
It was. Well, younger, as much as I feel good with my body and confident that it doesn't matter. So I guess younger.
You just want to be younger. I just want to be older.
Yeah, you know, young and fat. Yes.
And I have a real question to you. Have you ever had to use your health insurance on COVID-related issues?
I think just once for the test, but they didn't refund it, so that happened. But otherwise, no.
Okay. You, Vicky?
No, I actually didn't have to. So I was lucky. I there for the first time, and
the second.
so far
Hopefully
right
not
now,
gonna
yes, hopefully won't happen. No, I didn't have to.
Okay. Do we have a Facebook question?
Yeah, I'm checking. I think I can ask a question to Vicky.
Yeah.
Vicky, can you explain what did you did, like your previous volunteerings? What Syncasts did you do and other things?
Yes, definitely. So when I was here for the first time, the circumstances were a little bit different because it was summer. So obviously children didn't have school, and we were supposed to prepare our workshops and perform them outside. However, because of the pandemic, it wasn't really busy outside. And I think also because of summer, all of the weekends in Zagreb were pretty empty because we assumed that people were traveling by the coast. So it was difficult. It was really challenging. Later in September, we actually managed to gather some kids when they came back to school. And they started to have the routine. We managed to find the times when they actually go outside to parks. And we were organizing our workshops over there. So it was really fun because it was face to face. There were a lot of kids playing. So we actually attracted them with some music and some activities. And they knew that every day at 6 p.m., let's say, there are people there who actually want to play with them and who are preparing some fun activities. So they were excited, we were ready, and it actually worked out quite well. And then in regards to my Syncloud, I actually organized it with my friend Dalila, and we did hike to Sliema. There's the mountain in Zagreb, and we went there in the afternoon. We hiked the whole afternoon to see the sunset from the mountain. So we actually attracted some people from Zagreb. We've met some students who joined us, who saw the event online and who decided to join us. So that was actually very nice. Yes, and in terms of my workshops and my Syncloud, that was it. However, of course, the whole project was about doing much more. We had some scavenger hunts in the city that we were organizing. We were helping other organizations. We were doing different festivals where I actually met Dolores.
Where we met each other,
Yes. So I think there is a lot of going on during the project, and it really keeps you busy, keeps you occupied. So there's no time to be bored.
Also, I have I have one question as well. Like, people who wants to be a volunteer are listening to us,
Mhm.
and like, do you have any advices that like they can face with bad situations in here as well? So, have you ever faced with a bad situation that you have to manage, or everything was all fine?
Specifically in Zagreb, in Croatia, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't have one problem here.
Not even one.
No, not literally, not even one. Like that's the thing. Like when we were like on arrival in the seminar, like there were also other organizations present, and you know all of them had like some sort of issues with the organization, and we were just sitting there like we're good. Like we do not have any kind of problems here. I don't know if it's a Zagreb thing, putting that out.
Or our organizations.
Yeah, like
thing.
Syncasts and Amazonas are amazing. Like literally.
Yes, literally, when I was here for the first time, I liked it so much
That she came back.
that I came back. Yes, I mean, if there was something wrong, I wouldn't really be thinking about coming back and doing the same thing all over again. But since everything was just perfect, the accommodation, the people, the project, the free time that we had, the atmosphere, environment in Zagreb, all of that accumulated really made me wanting to come back so much that that I'm back.
Also, like we are all getting so many experiences here,
Yeah.
and they are teaching so much to us. What's the most important thing that you learned from here, like using in your
Wow.
normal life, not here?
Oh.
Okay,
That's a good question.
Interesting. Yes.
Okay.
I think, wow, solidarity, I would say.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes. Living with the group of people for 2 months really makes you, I don't know, be more, like, think more about, you know, sharing and being together. And I don't know, I really liked to be a part of the group. And I think this project really showed me that. So yes, I would say solidarity. What about you?
What about you?
That is very good. Like,
Wow.
no, but, like just being surrounded by so many different people. Like I think, first of all, you really learn a lot about yourself, whether it's 2 months or 11 months.
Yeah.
Like it is amazing, like what you find out about yourself and about other people, and like just seeing how everyone else lives their life and everything. Like we all influence each other, I think, in a way,
Yeah.
and we all learn from each other. Like from my flat, like we've learned so much how to communicate with each other and like how we can help each other in certain situations, and you know also just like the self progress you make over this time is like
Definitely.
something that will stick with you forever. In general.
I don't know if you agree, but I would say that acceptance as well.
Oh, acceptance and tolerance.
Intolerance, yes. Since
Definitely.
every single one of us comes from a different culture, different experiences and different lives.
It also makes it fun.
Yes, and super beneficial
Yes,
to actually learn about all of them. Yeah, so definitely super fun.
And Dolores, I have a question to you.
Yes.
What has been the funniest moment for you as a volunteer?
The funniest moments as a volunteer. I mean, there are many things. Like the thing. So our flat, like the other volunteers and me, we started like a random book where we just write everything that happens to us in Croatia.
Wow.
Yes.
Good idea.
Yeah, like we started it as a flat, and we were like, okay, let's just write everything that's like happened. And this book is filled with so many stories. I mean, oh my god, the funniest one. There are so many. I mean, the most recent one I would say is when we watched Eurovision, and at one point we were all just dancing Just Dance on YouTube. Afterwards, I would say that is like the most funniest one that I can think of right now. But there have been so many.
Just tell the
moments.
one that came to your mind first.
The Eurovision Just Dance thing.
Okay.
like we were watching Eurovision, and afterwards we were just like listening to all the songs from the other countries, and at one point there was a Just Dance video of Moscow, and then we just went with it.
What about you, Vicky?
Wow. Wow, it's really wow because
There's so many.
it is, and I can remember myself crying
Yeah.
out laughing so many times that it's really difficult to think of one event. I think people make it. Like even last night we were sitting in the kitchen and we were having the most random conversation ever, laughing laughing so much. And there are so many events like this, so many days like it. Yeah, I don't know if it's about people. I think it's about people.
I think the people make a great influence on like the fun times.
Definitely. So you could be sitting in the kitchen and having the best time of your life. But it also happened when we were traveling, we were having a really good time. When we were partying, we were having a really good time. Or even during workshops with kids, it was so much fun that the kids were laughing, we were laughing.
Oh yeah, the work fun.
Yeah.
Amazing.
What's your best location in Zagreb?
Oh.
The best location here in Zagreb.
But the favorite one or the one
I
that I
think
spend the most time in?
I think
No,
you
the
can say
favorite
both.
one.
Because I spend a lot of time in the library, but I wouldn't say.
No, I was going for Krivi Put because like everyone's always there. Oh, there's I mean I love the
I
main
know.
square. I love the main square because like from there you have like so many opportunities on what you can do. So like the main square is always like the center where I meet with my friends. And then sometimes we just go for a walk or we sit in a cafe or something. So I would the main square.
Okay, so we'll go from another side, and I will say Maksimir Park. This is one probably, well, in Europe, one of the biggest parks in the city that serves as a kind of escape from the life as a volunteer, and I would say as a rest from being in the group all the time, because talking about advantages and about being with people, this is amazing and super good. But from time to time, I think like everyone needs a space for yourself, and I really like to go there for a run or to meditate or to have a walk. Yeah, so I think Maksimir Park is my to go.
Yeah, I think it's very beautiful that it's like nearly in the city center, but
Yes.
it's like huge.
Exactly, you feel like you are
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Guys, if you have questions for Vicky or Dolores, you can just write in the comments. So we don't have questions. That's why I will ask one question again. Do you have any questions for us? For me or Bengisu?
Oh.
And we can go very easy on the first one. How has your time been so far here in Croatia?
It was nice because also it's a good opportunity to come EU for me, because now Turkish people cannot enter EU. So it's the best option that I can do for now, because I can attend my classes online as well and being a volunteer as well. So it's a great opportunity to be here, and everything is really fine. Also, I want to ask you something. How can you manage your life in Germany and here, like school, other things?
I'm not studying anything right now. Like right now, I'm really just volunteering in Zagreb, and when I go back to Germany, I will start working, and then we go from there. Not really planned out that much.
What about you, Vicky?
Yeah, so as I said, I'm finishing my studies right now, and I still have a couple of more exams to take, but I can do them online. So I had one yesterday, and then I still have a couple of more in the next weeks. But yeah, this is all manageable, all fine. And then what's gonna happen after? I didn't plan it yet. Step by step.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wanted to ask actually a question. Well, it was the question you asked us, but maybe with you it's different. Was it difficult for you to organize visas and flights and coming here?
We don't need to get a visa to come here because of our passports. We have a green passport, so we don't need the visa. But the other stuff, I think the transportation or getting a test, it was easy to me because I got my COVID test just in a day.
Nice.
So it was easy to me. What about you, Fatma?
Yeah, thanks to green passport, I'm here because we have 3 types of passport: diplomatic, normal, and special passport. The green passport is a special passport. Normally, if it's not the pandemic time, we can just enter whatever we want because our parents are like working in the public, so we can use it till 25. Then we go back to normal passport if we don't work in the public. Yeah, it was okay because the testing is very quick in the Turkey as well, so it has no bad thing for me. Also, thanks to Turkish Airlines, we have like direct flights to every continent, so it was okay for me to come here.
Yeah, that's nice.
So you came with direct flights or?
Yes. For me, yes. I don't know for you.
Sorry, so
Because as far as I know, they change the schedules of the planes. Now, was it hard to come here? Like, how did you?
It wasn't too difficult actually, but I remember that before, when I was coming here for the first time, well, I was flying from Poland, so I had a direct flight, but right now I was coming from Manchester in England, and it wasn't too difficult, it was just long because I had to spend the whole night in Manchester airport because my flight was very early, and then I traveled to Amsterdam, and then I had a layover of a few hours, and then I arrived to Zagreb. So it wasn't difficult, of course, like I managed. It was just long.
Yeah, and it's easier to be in an EU country to come here, so you're lucky. Also, we have a question from Claudie, but you asked, are there any short-term volunteering projects starting soon at Synchro? You can check our Facebook and Instagram page to look at them. And if you have questions to Vicky and Dolores, I can ask.
Or you can always look at the European Solidarity Corps website.
Yeah. So, how did you find the project?
Go on.
First
Go on. Yes.
Okay, so
Go,
after I
Doris.
graduated school, I was doing a volunteering year in Germany.
Mhm.
And at one of the seminars, I met a girl who was, before she was a volunteer in Germany, she did a volunteering project with the European Solidarity Corps. So she told me about it, and I was like, yeah, just send me like the website and everything so I can look at it, because I've always wanted to do a year abroad. Like, I've been wanting to do that since I was 16, and I was thinking about, work and travel, au pair, like the other traditional things. But like money has always been a big issue for that, because you always need to pay for that. So when she told me about the European Solidarity Corps and that they like cover almost all of your costs, which is amazing, I was like, yeah, we'll look at it. And I started to search for projects, and in the end, I arrived here, and I do not regret it one bit.
You, Vicky.
Yeah, so for me, I remember I was at home. It was actually the first time I've been at home in Poland for so long. It was of course because of COVID. I had to be back, and I just got very tired of it. So I was looking for an escape, and I remember one night I was scrolling Facebook, like literally, and I'm signed up. I belong to many of these Erasmus projects, CBS's groups on Facebook, and I've noticed the opportunity. so I didn't really put much thought into it. I just applied. I answered the questions. I sent my application. It was just very random. And then I kind of forgot about it until Synchro contacted me back that they would like to have an interview. And I don't know, I wasn't really convinced 100%. But then I just decided, to give it a go. Okay, let's have an interview. And since the moment I had an interview and since they told me how everything would look like, I was so excited. I was ready to go. So it wasn't really something I was necessarily looking for. It was something that happened. But yeah, as Dolores, I don't regret it one bit, not at all. It was one of probably best decisions in my life.
So for everyone who wants to volunteer, European Solidarity Corps is the one place to go.
Highly recommended.
Highly recommended by at least 4 people here.
Yeah, I think the best option ever to go some country.
I was also surprised to find out that not a lot of people know about the European Solidarity Corps.
Definitely.
Because it is one of the greatest opportunities for young people who want to travel.
I think ever.
Literally
Even in the hostel, there was a group of Erasmus students, and I was talking. They were actually from Poland, and I was talking to one of the guys, and he asked me, "Oh, how can you be doing Erasmus for so long? I couldn't afford it." And I was very surprised. He was even more when I told him that, well, they actually pay us to do it.
We get paid for being here.
Exactly. And he was super surprised, how come? So I started to explain him, well, they pay us for this, they pay for our flight, they pay for our accommodation,
everything.
The monthly allowance.
Exactly.
All you have to do is work.
That's it. That's it. So it's very shocking that people are not aware of these amazing opportunities.
So thanks for European Union.
Thanks, Europe.
for this opportunity. So I'm checking if there's a question that we didn't answer.
No question.
That's all. No questions at all.
And
So-
would you... A funny question again.
Okay.
Nice.
Would you rather have all your clothes fit perfectly or have the most comfortable pillow, blankets and sheets?
Ooh,
Wow.
pillow and blanket.
Yeah.
Yes. My clothes can be too big. I don't
I
care.
love oversized clothes either
Oversized,
way.
yeah. But
Okay.
pillow and blanket, they need to be perfect.
That comfort.
Exactly.
So I think we can finish our podcast because there is no questions left.
Sadly.
So thanks for coming and being our host here.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Exactly. Thank you.
And guys, see you next week with our lovely Laura intern. And see you next week.
Bye.